Okay. We have two people from two residents. Kim Shirley.
Yep.
Okay. Mary Truxas. Okay. Two planning commissioners. Denise Wood.
Here.
Okay. And Gary Krieger, myself, I'm here. And we have two council people. Mayor Kerr. Here. And Councilman Gag. So, looks like Mary Truxas and Councilman Gagliardi will not be joining us tonight. All right. The old business, really the main. I was thinking about the best way to do this. So I'll throw this out there and, oh, I'm sorry. Actually, let me back up. Sorry, Kim. Public comment. I'm just jumping in and getting going. Jim, did you want to make a public comment before we got started?
Well, let me ask if this is the appropriate place.
Oh boy!
And did I get myself unmuted?
Oh, there you go. No, you were garbled, but then you came back in. Go ahead and say that again. Not the last piece of it.
You'll have to tell me if this is the appropriate place. As I was reading through this, I came across two questions under the prohibited signs location. Would this be an appropriate time to ask about those?
You know what? We're going to talk about that, I think, as we go through. If it was something you saw, we're going to do that that's what I was about to jump into, to go through the modifications that Mary and Denise would, and that would probably be a good place to bring up any questions you have.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I was trying to think of the best way to do this, and I was thinking maybe I should just share my screen and we could go through and hit all the bubbles first and see if we can clear those up, and then we can talk about how to proceed after that. With that, I don't know.
Sure. I'd like to say we did not go through the entire document. We spent about 3 hours or 2 hours, and then we kind of ran out of steam.
Yeah, Mary.
It is not complete. Right. So I just want to put that out there.
Right. No, we'll see that as we go. You can see that as you go through too. And Mary had mentioned to me that the two of you had gotten to a point where you were unsure about how to proceed exactly, and so
right.
Maybe we can talk about that. But I thought it might be good to go through and just as a group look at all the markups and see what we think of those, and maybe answer just questions. And
sure.
Then we can talk about how to proceed with the next step. Does that sound like it might work? Or
sounds good.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen then so I can put this up here since I have it opened. And okay, so PDF, and let me get all of you guys over here. I can see my yellow post-it. Oops, I see my yellow post-its. All right, I have to just do this with my kids every day in class, like get it so I can see you guys and what I'm working on. Okay. All right. So let me go back up to the top. And I think we can take notes right in here as we go through here. So, all right. First one we come across here, we're looking at square footage. Was it 80 square feet? I thought it was more than that. What was it? Was it 80 square feet total? Is that what the aggregate was?
I'd have to look it up, Gary. I don't remember.
For some reason, I thought it was more, but I didn't see that as a change.
I don't know why 120 is ringing a bell to me, but I can be.
Yeah, I
don't know, and I don't know where I think this was from the original document, wasn't it? We didn't change that at all.
Well, from the one that the council passed, right?
Could I ask a question?
Yes.
Excuse me. Is this document what John Gagliardi had edited for the last meeting, or is this a different section?
This is what was edited. I believe, Kim, does this look familiar, what you and John edited?
Yes, this
Yeah.
is what John put together.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so let's just hit, we can come back and check the 80 later. I can check it once I stop sharing my screen. Okay, so here we go.
Okay.
To be displayed within the, out of the way, the 5-foot right of way from all curbs, and they put 4 feet here. So
Okay.
do we?
Do you want me to, let me explain that one.
Yeah,
So
go for it.
A normal sidewalk is 4 feet. And so that's where we got the 4 feet from. And the 5-foot right of way, the right of way isn't always 5 feet in every house throughout the city. And so a 5-foot right of way is not an accurate measurement. So we figured, okay, 4 feet, because that's the size of a sidewalk. And
Yeah.
you know, some places have sidewalks, some don't. And if we ever do, there you go. So that's where the
Yeah,
4
no,
foot came.
I think that's good. This whole right-of-way thing is way more trouble than it's worth, because the right-of-ways vary from a couple of feet to 12, 15 feet. They're all over the
Right.
place.
So that's why,
And
yeah.
I ain't trying to figure it out.
Exactly. Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yep.
I think if you go, and actually not 4 feet from the curb, but 4 feet from the pavement, right? The idea was at the curb, the idea would be from the edge of the road, from the edge of the pavement, you would have 4 feet back, because that would be your sidewalk. And at that point, you can start putting up a sign.
Correct.
I believe it's the lip of the curb.
The lip of the
The
curb.
lip of the
Okay.
curb.
It-
The other thing before we go a lot deeper into this
Mhm.
is I think whatever we come up with this evening needs to go to our attorney at this point, just for kind of a reality check to make sure that we are on target and we're not crossing over any lines.
Yeah, well,
So-
make sure we don't put any ambiguity in there.
Right.
That's a good
Right.
idea. Okay. So in trying to, but we're talking about the lip. Not every place has a lip. If there's if there's no sidewalk, there's no curb, right? Is that what you're talking? Are you talking about when you say the lip? You mean from? You said 4 feet.
It's the top of the curb, and there's a lip right there, and so it's
Okay.
on the dirt, and then they were estimating 5 feet back from there. So it's where the concrete stops on the dirt or on your property. But that could easily be something that we could ask Alex to clarify.
Okay. Are you saying 5 feet back from the concrete being the sidewalk concrete? Or are you talking about the road?
So on the side or on the sidewalk, oh,
Because not everybody has sidewalks. That's what I'm saying. That's what I was.
That's why we just put, it's not necessarily a sidewalk, it's just a 4 foot. So it's a measurement, because since 5 foot isn't as a right of way on everyone's property, we decided 4 feet, and the 4 foot number we chose was because that is the size of a sidewalk.
right. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about where the 4 or 5 feet is measured from.
Oh, it's from the curb. So like what you said, right at the top, that's my understanding.
At the top, yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
But what if there's no curb?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying
Well,
No one has is there a location that doesn't have a curb?
to. Yeah.
Everyone would have a driveway. So there's
Mm.
going to be something.
yeah,
Like
that's
you go
true.
around Carlton, back around Carlton, it's just black. It stops and it's just there's no. It's just blacktop that stops and it's just dirt. I mean, there's nothing else. There's nothing there. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something. I'm just trying to think of something that's consistent no matter where you go, and that's what.
So perhaps it could say 4 or 5
Yeah.
feet right of way from the edge of the curb or the edge of the property. I don't know.
Yeah,
But if
I would
we
like to be able to tie into the road. I'd like to be able to tie into the road because now this whole right away is such a mess. Be nice
That's why right away isn't an issue. It's just a distance,
Right.
4 feet
Right.
from the curb. So
Um,
it's like the
well-
easement or property line. So 4 feet.
why don't we just look at 4 feet? Let me just leave it curved for now. Most of the places do have a, you know.
So it
Yeah, why
sounds
don't we
like
just, we'll leave it in to Alex.
so it sounds like what's being suggested is 4 feet instead of 5.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. And not worrying about the, not,
And just put 4 feet. It's not, and get the right of way out of there because the right of way isn't. It's
yeah,
not a
I
5
agree.
foot right of way. It's a
Yeah,
4
the
feet
right of
from
way
the
is too
curb,
high.
period.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Denise, the right of way was,
Right.
you could never get a straight answer for it, for one thing. Okay.
So
All
take
right,
it out.
so we just, and we'll see what, we good? Everybody?
Yes.
All right.
That's not
I've
good.
I've just lost everybody. I've
Hello,
lost. Okay.
I'm back. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Gary.
We're good.
Can you hear us, Gary?
Gary, can you make one of us a co-host? That way, in case you need to log off, we don't lose the meeting.
Okay.
Okay. Oh. Kim, what's for dinner?
It's a good question. Kevin's in a park meeting right now in the living room, and I'm in the bedroom. So it'll happen after we're done with our meetings.
Gary, are you okay?
Gary, you're muted.
No, thank you. I came back in. Sorry about that. I'm making you a co-host, Kim, just in case I get kicked out again.
Okay.
Okay.
So someone has control of this mess. Okay, let me share my screen again. Sorry about that. Let's keep going. Let's all right. So let me put this back up.
So who worked on this document?
Me
Denise,
and Mary.
Okay. So Gary, could we have Denise walk us through the rationale?
absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. So the next note is the attention getting signs, flashing projectiles. And then she was saying the scintillate is, what is that word?
Scintillation.
Scintillation.
Scintillation. Okay. So scintillation. And so we had to look it up. So we're like, okay, we can use something a little simpler. So strobe. So that's where that's why it says strobe instead of scintillation.
Okay.
That was where that came from. Okay. And backlit transit. Yeah, so all this is the same. Non-permitted private party or event signs displaying in city property. 4 feet from curb for safety reasons, the same thing. So that's consistent with the location.
Okay.
Signs that are attached, supported by mounted or projected above a roof or other architectural feature, including, what was this? Oh, fascia. Just a wording change from
Okay.
mansard to fascia.
Jim has a question about this one.
Oh yeah,
Go ahead, Jim.
Go ahead. Hi, Jim.
Jim,
Hi.
you're muted.
I'm trying
There
to
you
figure that. Alt-A.
You can use hold your space bar down too, Kim. That'll work.
Mute my audio.
Jim,
There it goes.
there you go.
Okay. All right. So I moved the chat down. So this was one of the questions that I got to. So as I read through this, not having looked at it, just Joe Blow reading through all this, does that mean that the Santa Claus stop here that goes along the top of the roof with flashing lights is prohibited?
That is a good question. I always just assume anything Christmas kind of gets, it's kind of what do you call it? You know, there's no
It's
rule.
exempt.
Yeah, it's exempt. Huh.
What is exempt? Can you please clarify what is exempt?
Included? Yeah. Oh,
Happy
no,
Christmas
dear.
smoking decorations.
I know.
Christmas decorations.
Is this in writing?
No. Jim's just saying that that was a question, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think that these were taken straight from what was already in the document, because when
Yeah.
Gagliotti
Yeah.
and I did this, we
Right.
just organized it. We didn't change anything. So I think our current sign ordinance probably says that these types of signs are prohibited in the residential area.
Right.
We just never enforced it, I'm guessing, is,
And I guess if you, yeah.
Huh, Christmas, Christmas decorations kind of, yeah. A
okay.
lot of these aren't okay.
It's not good. Yeah. Well, but,
So Gary, if you could add a note to this, we can ask Alex.
all right.
So a lot of these questions, if we're not clear, I think Alex is the right backup for us.
All right. So what about holiday decorations? I mean, Halloween's another big one that people put stuff up. Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
probably the two biggest ones. Easter a little bit.
Can I ask how many people put things on their roof? Jim, have you seen something on a roof?
We do.
Yeah.
We have a Santa landing strip on our roof.
Okay. And Jim,
Uh-huh.
have you seen others?
Yeah.
As I've gone around Delray Oaks, yes, it seems to be a very merry Christmassy place. In fact, over on the where was I? It looks like there's a big Halloween competition going on the west side of town, which is really cool. And I haven't been there at night to see if anything flashes or anything, but I'm just worried that the wording, if you don't do excluding holiday something, that some Grinch is going to be able to put.
Good. Well, it's a good question.
Yes, yes.
Somebody.
Jim, you're very spotty.
Yeah. Well, Liz and Cosmo probably would be definitely interested in this. Okay.
So the other thing is, this is signs, right? This is a big, huge sign that says Merry Christmas. What I'm hearing is there's a landing strip, right? Which is very different than a sign. So
Yeah, that's why I say decoration.
I don't know where that differentiation lies.
Well, maybe it's just any holiday decorations are exempt from typical sign ordinances or something. I don't know if there could be a blanket thing.
I don't know if we can do that.
Well,
I said we hand it off to the lawyer and let him.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
I think we could all agree we don't want to prohibit them, right? So I think it's just a matter of stating it in a way that where they're not prohibited. So
Oh, there we go.
Right.
So why don't we just let Alex decide? I mean, Alex.
okay.
Go
Let's see, where are we?
ahead, Denise. This one here.
Let's see, signs. So she was signs that are suspended or supported by a wall, building, or structure and project more than 3 feet outward. She was saying that this section right here should go into the commercial end because it sounds like it's more for commercial signs. And this whole section is for residential.
right.
Okay.
Let's see. So is it okay if I just go on the bubbles, or do you want me to read?
You know what? Well, you want to share your screen, and then do you have this up, or?
You know, I have my email on one and my screen on the other. So I'm hitting the bubbles. So the bullet point that says signs which simulate or imitate in size. Oh, sorry, that one's fine. So this next note's about signs which are prohibited in a specific plan. She was just saying it should be from a specific plan.
So it's just a change of word.
Right. Just a
Okay.
word change.
Thank
Word change
you.
there. And then we had quite a long chat about this duration, and we were saying, no duration, and both of us didn't agree with that and so we're saying a sign could be up for 45 days, down for 30 days. And that's typical in most cities. That's like kind of the standard practice in most places.
Well, I know there's a Supreme Court case that says you can't regulate signs according to content.
Right.
But the problem with the duration is enforcement. Like, who's going to keep track of all this?
Nobody is, probably.
So then why
I don't
have it? I guess that's my issue. I want it to be really clean and enforceable and direct.
Maybe we should say, is that something that
Well, in our discussions before, we were talking about just taking out all of the limits on the time, and because the fact is most people are pretty good about not leaving up like election signs forever. There are some signs that never come down. People do have. I mean, this gets into the whole first alert kind of thing. It's a sign. Is it? I mean, people are going to take under security signs, and so I think if you start trying to get in there and trying to figure out, well, this sign can stay up because it's important, or don't let your dog poop on my yard sign, or if you start trying to figure out which signs can stay up and which ones have to come down, it gets muddled really fast. And if you just, I'm sure there's probably a way, and this might be a question for Alex, but if someone had a sign that was an eyesore to someone that they might fall under a nuisance law, perhaps, I don't know, but I think if you try to put time limits on it, it's pretty unenforceable. So now you're just writing, again, something can be enforced selectively, and we want to try to avoid that.
So is this so these are all temporary signs? Yeah. Oh, that's right. We're going back. We already talked about this in nauseam. So, okay. Make a note. I am.
Take this out.
Sounds like it.
The time. Okay. All right. That's easy. All right. Did we talk about this one yet?
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
Okay. That's where I was going. Yes. In my absence, yes.
In your absence. So now we're on commercial conditions. And location, and in the absence of city approval, no sign shall be displayed on public property to include city easements right away in she said 6 feet or 8 feet from curbs. And this is for commercial signs, 6 feet or 8 feet. That's kind of the standard on other places.
So I'm guessing at some point there was a decision that 5 feet is consistent. And so again, this would be an Alex, right?
Okay.
If we go 4 feet for residential and then maybe 6 feet for commercial.
Yeah.
But again,
yeah,
I think they were trying to make it consistent throughout the city.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, we can ask.
Okay. No sign shall interfere with free ingress to or egress in any door window. Or fire escape,
Denise?
or parking lot, yes.
Sorry,
Or path or sidewalk, yes.
but okay, so you got down to the paragraph that talked about commercial, right?
Yes.
So I'm sorry, I had one more about residential.
Oh, no problem.
No, yeah, which one? Where's it at, Kim?
I was under location prohibited, not on a light pole. I can't see it right now, but I know I saw it in there.
Yeah, it's right above the prohibited signs section. It's the bullet right above that.
Got it.
Yeah.
Right here.
So, okay. So would
Mm.
that apply to our once a year garage sale signs? That's such a big part of our community.
So,
Oh, go ahead.
this is already in the ordinance. I mean, this was a discussion that was already had, and I mean, we could change it in this committee, but right now that's the ordinance. That's what it was changed to.
So, Jim, a big part of the conversation was about enforcement. And, I know that there's that one sign over there, kids play here or something. And Dino was saying that unless there are complaints, it wouldn't be enforced.
Okay.
I don't know if that's, how Alex feels about that, but because the garage sale signs definitely came up, as well as those other, our kids play here signs.
Okay. If we're continuing with our Delray Oaks complaint driven situation, those two things will take care of themselves because everybody knows what they're for. And,
Right.
The rational people understand that the garage sale is a 3-day thing and they go up and
Right.
they go down. I mean, I don't think there's anybody more efficient as getting those things up and getting them down right after than George. So okay.
Yeah, I don't think there's ever been any, as far as I know, I don't think there's ever been any complaints or any concern about the the ice cream social and the garage sale and the picnic.
Well, so then it leads me to say, like, why do we have this in here? I mean, if it's going to be something on there that we're only going to enforce if someone complains, why are we prohibiting it?
So I understand not having signs on traffic signposts, light posts, traffic signals, right? For
Yep.
distraction, and possible, there's electricity going on there. Trees, I don't, this is residential.
This is residential. Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we don't address telephone poles, do we?
Right.
So like right now over here by us, someone's lost their cat, and
Right.
now they've been up for a long time because they're pretty faded. You can barely even read them anymore, but they're still up. So I guess the idea was.
So what if we took out trees and said you can't put them on traffic, light posts, traffic signals, and other traffic control devices?
Actually, trees are the one thing you shouldn't put them on because it can hurt the tree. Just talking plant-based thing a little bit. I don't know.
Well, ideally, hopefully the sign won't be up, I guess, a long time, but I guess it's just putting something into the tree is not so nice.
Right.
Yeah.
So the other thing that I would love to see the city do is right next to the official city announcement board to have a community announcement board. That way you wouldn't have to put them up on trees or anywhere else. If it becomes a spot where people know that they can post information as well as receive information, right? I don't know how many kiosks do we have around the city? 4, 5?
Yeah, 4 or 5. I think that sounds about right.
And then hopefully people wouldn't have to feel like they need to put them up, other than the kids at play signs.
The other option might be you leave it as is, but then you put in there something about you can request permission maybe to put up a temporary sign, or
No.
then that starts to get, but then that starts to, now you got to get into City Hall, and then that starts to get to be a mess too.
Yeah, we're trying to
No.
make this clean.
Yeah. Well,
So where are we?
Well, I
Well-
mean, I think we could take off trees, but
This is residential property.
yeah. I mean, and if someone is saying, okay, you could put a sign on my tree, it's their tree. Maybe they should be allowed to put a sign on their tree, even if it's not good for the tree.
hopefully they would, there's lots of ways to affix a sign to a tree without like screwing into it and nailing into the tree, so.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, here you go. If you want it really clean, I don't think there's a traffic signal or an official traffic control device on anyone's property.
Right.
So that should get
Right.
taken off. So,
Or maybe that
Actually,
goes to commercial.
yeah, so this whole thing could just, and not even mention it for a residential location.
Okay,
I'm down with that.
okay. All right,
And then your garage sale signs are fine.
right.
Right.
Your lots of signs,
Yeah.
Yep,
right.
Last cat signs
yep.
here.
Okay, I don't know that I can add the sticky.
Just add a comment to there and then someone will edit it.
Yeah, I'm gonna put here, okay, this is right above it, okay. All right. Okay. Delete.
Do we have something similar in commercial?
I don't know.
All right, so,
Good night, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
yep, thanks. Okay. So delete the last bullet in the location section above, so, okay. We good?
Okay.
That's good.
Okay. So where were we down here?
We were in commercial.
Next page.
Right here, did we do that one? Oh, sorry.
Next page, Gary.
Yeah, keep going, here we go, commercial, yep.
Commercial. Okay.
6 to 8 feet.
Oh,
I think we were in the second one.
Yeah.
This one here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, she just say we should add path or sidewalk.
Where?
No sign shall interfere with free ingress or egress from any door, window, fire escape, or parking lot, or path or sidewalk.
Sounds reasonable.
Mhm.
Yep.
And
Okay,
then here is where our location is now in its proper location in commercial. No sign on trees.
okay.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Okay, and let's see, permitted signs.
Let me see here. Trying to find this one.
Okay. Okay, so this is what is, okay, so we got a little confused here because there's permitted signs, then there's categorical permitted signs and conditional needs approval. So you have categorical permit exempt, you don't need a permit, but then you have conditional that it needs approval. So are those?
Yeah,
Just
I think
just a little
that
confused on
this needs
or
to be.
why they're there.
Yeah, I think when you have permitted signs over the different sign names, I think that's confusing. So, I mean, I think there's 3 categories that should be here. So we need a third column because you either have signs that are exempt from a permit, right? So they could just go up without a permit. Then you have signs that need approval, so they need a permit. And then
Okay,
your third column is just prohibited signs.
so
So
why?
that's what we're missing from this.
Well, isn't a permitted sign and a sign that needs approval the same thing?
So you eliminate permitted signs.
Yeah, I think that was,
Yeah.
yeah, it confuses because obviously these aren't all permitted signs because some of them are exempt.
Right.
Yeah.
That should
It's
just say signs.
It's almost like, or it should say,
Oh, okay. Now I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah, it's just the
Eliminate
title
the
of the
words.
column,
like sign types or something maybe.
right?
Talking about different types of signs, but
Okay, and so these are, okay, the different types and in certain, so there's some that some types of signs will always need a
Yes.
approval.
Approval.
Okay, and there's some that will never need approval.
Correct.
And then
Yes.
there's some that might need approval.
Well, I think you either have signs that need to be approved or signs that are exempt,
Right.
and then signs that you definitely can't have,
Right.
Okay.
prohibited.
Prohibited. Right.
Well, no, I'm just talking about this one table. All right.
Right.
So there's-
You add one more column that says prohibited. Are
But,
there
I mean,
any
well, so
Are
that's
there
the thing. So maybe if this table is only talking about exempt and permitted, you wouldn't have any prohibited signs on this table, right? So then you have a separate table in the commercial area that just says prohibited.
right.
do we have any prohibited?
Yeah, I'm sure we do.
I'm gonna say, there's probably things that are not aren't category or conditional, and that's probably gonna be what's prohibited.
Well, I think it's just, well, that's,
Where is your confusion, Denise?
oh, I'm just trying, I'm looking at this and I'm like, so we wanted to make it, so if I have this kind of sign, this is what I need to do or I don't need to do.
It's perfect.
And so that's what this works. So
Right,
I
we
think
just-
the permitted
we just-
signs was confusing.
This
We
is, yeah,
just
this is,
eliminate the word permitted.
Correct.
yeah, I think I put in there, change it to something like type of sign or something like that.
Right.
You know, so get the word permitted is confused. That's
Right.
what's causing confusion.
Okay. Okay.
Different types of signs. Okay, so if it's ancillary, then you wanted to, I gotta switch this, I can't switch that. I gotta move it out of the way. Bundled into paragraph 1. Okay. All right. All right, so,
Real estate signs. Okay, so
All
there's only two. Okay, so I'm looking at this. So there are two signs here that are permit exempt. It's ancillary signs, and then at the bottom here, real estate signs. So maybe we can bundle those together. Like, so those are the only two signs that will never need any kind of approval.
down, are you saying at the bottom of this,
Yeah.
at the very bottom? Oh,
I
really?
don't know unless these are unless they're in alphabetical order or something. No.
So real estate signs, you're saying we could have included up here.
And so, well, there's two signs that will never need a permit exempt: ancillary signs and real estate signs, and some directional signs.
Well, there's another one here. These directional and public service signs are also there.
Right. Except direction.
I probably just leave them separate because I mean they are kind of the.
Okay. Okay.
This is real estate, and this is. I mean, this is real clear. This is talking about like stuff they put up, like the little
They're
bees.
different. They're different kinds of signs.
Yeah, I'd probably.
Okay. It's all good.
Okay. And then.
Did you go over the first bullet though? What is that? Yeah,
This is the one. This is the one we're talking about.
because I don't see it.
Oh, that actually.
Like it's
Okay.
all covering each other, so I can't see.
I know. I'm trying to. If I click on it here, okay. Oh, there it is. 35% of total square inches of window allocated for poster loading hours above.
Okay. Oh, okay. I remember what this was about. So she was telling me that everywhere else they have a certain, it's just a percentage. So they're saying you can only have 35% of a sign can be covered with something. And we don't have that anywhere.
You mean of a window?
It's a really easy figure. It's just kind of out there. It's like, okay, any business can only cover up 35% of their window
Oh, I thought we had something like that in there.
or whatever we say.
Yeah. I thought there was. Kim, do you remember? I thought there was something in there about how much of the window you could cover.
Yeah, I'd have to look it up. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't remember the exact number though.
So,
Okay.
I think we didn't see that. And so that, oh,
Okay.
well, it says, oh, here we go. Oh, sorry, it's been a while. So what I think is there's a lot of this little, if this, that, and maximum allotment, and kind of get rid of all that and just say you can't cover up more than 30%, 35% of your window, if I recall.
Okay.
Rather than not exceeding 1 square foot?
Correct.
Okay. So remove the one.
But hold on, don't quote me yet.
Gary, can you scroll up a little bit just so I can see
Yeah.
the upper part of commercial? I'm just wondering what's in there again.
Oh, okay. So this is what it is. It's an ancillary sign. So we're just talking ancillary signs here. They cannot exceed more than 35% of total window space.
Okay. So what?
So I think that's what she's saying. So we have here, they're not to exceed, it's like 1 square foot, but you can have depending on the size of your window, how many you can have placed in the window.
Okay.
So you can have more than 35% of the window covered in ancillary signs.
Okay. So no,
That's what's not there.
no single sign can be more than a square foot.
Right.
Together, you cannot have more than 35% of the total window.
Correct.
Okay. So it's actually, that makes sense. That's two different.
So those are two different things. So it's just,
Yeah.
because you could have the whole in 1 square foot pieces
What is the maximum sign area allotment?
would be 35% of the total window.
What is it currently on this document?
I do not know. I don't think there is one. And that's why she mentioned it.
Well, I think there is a total
Yeah.
allotment for square footage for outdoor signs, but I
But
think
not for ancillary signs.
right. I mean, because I think of ancillary signs not only are in windows, but it could be, on a cash register, or
Right.
it could be all different places.
Well, then you just have to say 35% of. Well, so I think here, if you had the 35%, what you're getting as specifically in a window, if you have a window,
Mm-hmm.
specifically, you can't cover more than 35, basically cover a third of it with signs, and that's it.
Correct.
And any one sign cannot be more than a square foot.
Correct.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know why a business would want to cover with signs, so maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, these are things I don't think of. So Mary she's such a resource. Oh my gosh. Yeah, she's fantastic. So let me go back here.
I'm sad she's not with us this evening to be able to.
I know, me too. Sorry, I'm trying.
No, I'm not saying that.
Stripe pole.
Okay, down here, stripe. Okay, so barbershop with a section are moving. Oh, you talking about the ones that spin?
Yeah, that was in there.
Okay. So conditional needs a striped pole characteristic. So you're saying whether it's moving or not, it's conditional.
Correct. Correct.
But the next sentence says such signs may rotate.
I think you're just trying to combine those two bullets into one, I'm guessing.
Yeah. How about this?
Yeah. Got it.
Okay.
Okay, and then at the bottom, a sign permit is required. Well, if this is in a category that says permit, needs approval, then yeah, you need a permit. So it's kind of redundant.
Oh yeah, if it's.
So perhaps that's added to the top of the column.
Well, yeah, the column is called needs approval.
Needs approval, but it's like needs planning commission approval and sign permit or something. Then we can get rid of all of it throughout that column.
Right. So it's basically permit exempt or permit required. right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So we can, remove, okay. So we can remove it every place. If it's in this column, we don't need this.
Right.
Correct.
And is
Okay.
the process for getting a permit always the same? Like, do you always have to go through the planning commission for commercial signs, or is that something like, or some signs maybe you get permitted through just city hall approval? I don't know. Do we know?
I'm looking here through the signs, and it seems like, for a second, awning, marquee, or canopy signs. It says a sign, planning commission. Yeah, it looks like all signs have to go to planning commission.
Okay, so then we can put that up at the top then too, right, in permitting.
Yep.
Permit required, needs planning commission approval.
Yep.
Can
Or
you
planning
click on
commission
that?
review. What? Mhm.
There you go. Required signs.
Okay.
Directional public
Are we
service.
on this one here?
Yeah, and public service signs deemed necessary.
Including time and temperature devices. I don't understand. So is this like if Highway 218 has an accident and we need to put up a directional sign?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
So yes, of course. So again, we don't need to have planning commission approval is not required and a sign permit is not required. We can delete those 2 bullet points
Yeah. I
because
think,
it's in the appropriate.
yeah, right.
column.
And that's what you've got. Not necessary.
Necessary to include, not necessary to include. Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Got it.
So
Okay.
those will come out.
Directional and public service.
Can you go down a little bit, Gary, so we can? Okay. I just want up just a little. I just want to see the full box.
Yeah.
There we go.
So this doesn't mean like Starbucks puts up an arrow on a, on a post that says Starbucks this way. So it's not talking about that.
No, it's a
Okay.
public service sign. So public service.
The one showing.
Directional. Yeah.
Okay.
No, yeah. I think, yeah. Like how Via Verde was closed. All right. And I think that's as far as we got.
Wow.
So
So I would love to take a swab at this and clean up the duplications of a sign permit is required, isn't required, right? Anything we can do to make it as compact as possible, just so we don't have to go over that, and it just makes it cleaner. So
Mhm.
I'm happy to like do this because, yeah.
you want to, would you like to do that? And then perhaps try to let Alex take a look at it before we meet again, just to make sure we're
Yes.
not.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to stop.
But Denise, I'm also happy to get you whatever, and I'm not editing content. I'm just editing duplications,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And I'm happy to get that back to you and Mary to continue your work.
Sure.
Okay. So, and would you like me to go to
That-
Alex
Can
first?
we, so how can we do it so it's, I mean, how should we do this? Brown Act stuff.
I think if,
I'll give it to Karen.
yeah, if you do so Allison, if you clean it up and let Alex look at it, when Alex gets done, he gives it back to Karen, and then Karen can give it to Denise and Mary.
Right.
And
Okay.
from you
Sounds
to the other
Yeah,
two.
Mary and I would give it, we could even keep going a little bit
Right.
here
Yeah.
before we get it from you, right? That
Yeah.
would be, okay.
Yeah, because I'm not dealing with content. I'm just making the document shorter and more compact.
Okay. And we can go back to our content doing, okay.
Right on.
Can we talk kind of like big picture as far as other sections that we might need for this? I'm thinking we probably, I know I think it was option A, there was a list of exempt signs just in general. So like handheld signs. So I'm wondering if, I don't know if we need a section of just exempt signs.
Oh, I thought that, oh, it's not on here. Yeah.
We need to add the prohibited section to the commercial section. And then I think working on like a clear enforcement policy for residential and a clear enforcement policy for commercial is really important.
And Kim, I'm sorry, if I could just jump in here real quick. In that segue we just had about a minute ago, I think we actually went from old business and we're now in new business. So,
oh, sorry.
No. It was just a very natural segue. I just wanted, for the record, just
Okay.
being recorded, I just wanted to back up and just recognize the fact that once we finished reviewing the last post-it note, when we started talking about Allison making her changes and then letting Alex take a look at it, we actually, at that point, we stepped into new business. And so we're on the first order of new business, which was to discuss the next steps for completing the changes.
Gotcha.
So just to keep it all official.
Thank you.
So, Kim, can you take on the enforcement?
Yeah, I can try and do that.
Is there anything now?
How about if I just take on enforcement in residential? Like just
Okay.
that narrow section.
Okay.
And I mean, if that's super easy and I get it done, then I can look at commercial. But I feel like commercial is a big beast. I feel like there's a lot of more details in that because, again, we're trying to make residential as simple as possible. So, and I think I need to go back and look at our notes because I feel like we at one point did talk about what the enforcement would be like for residential. So, but yeah, I can start working on that.
Okay.
So you guys, it's
So-
7. I need to go.
Yes.
If I leave, does that mess with the quorum?
No.
Yes, wait, so let's just do this real quick. Okay, we decided what to do next. We all have our homework. Thank you. And then the last thing is just to set the date and time. Do we want me to just, the next one's gonna be right, well, you mean just try to pick something like around that second week or so of November? Is that, what do we?
What's that?
Why aren't we doing the first week?
Well, we can do the first week. I was thinking about,
Yeah.
Let me get my calendar out. What day is the 3rd? Well, we meet on
Tuesday.
Wednesday. Yeah, we meet
So
on
this
Wednesdays.
will be Wednesday
You
the
can do the
3rd.
4th.
Oh yeah,
It's the 4th.
The
Yeah.
4th, right?
yeah. We
Okay.
have an earlier council meeting in November because of the holiday, so we're bumping it up a little bit, which just means I have a little more work, so I don't want to
Well,
rearrange that.
And our planning commission is the 10th.
On 10th.
Right.
Okay, so we'll make it the week before. Okay? And I see, okay, I'll take care of that. And I see no more members of the public, so I'm going to assume there's no public comment. All right.
Okay. Thanks, Gary.
All right, well,
Thanks,
with that, we
Denise,
can.
for all your work on
Bye.
this.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Okay, well.
That's everyone's work.
Bye.